February is Black History Month. It started as an American observance, but is now commemorated all over the world to remember and honor people and events in the history of the African diaspora. Beyond the Black athletes and performers who have familial connections to the Philippines, let's go back a little further. David Fagen was an African-American soldier from Tampa, Florida. He worked as a laborer before enlisting in the U.S. Army in 1898. They assigned him to the 24th Infantry Regiment, a unit of the so-called Buffalo Soldiers, a group composed exclusively of colored soldiers. He was assigned to Cuba before being shipped to the Philippines. Just after a few months of battling against Filipinos, Fagen recognized the racist flavor of the American agenda and defected in November 1899. Fagen took sanctuary in the guerrilla-controlled areas around Mount Arayat in Pampanga. He fought bravely beside Filipinos and acquired the rank of captain in the Philippine Revolutionary Army. He was fondly called General Fagen by his men. At least 20 other Buffalo soldiers followed Fagen's footsteps and defected to the Filipino side. 6 of them were captured by the American forces, and 2 of those soldiers were hanged in front of the other soldiers as a warning. Records on Fagen stopped in 1901, and there is no definitive data on when, where, and how he died. Carter Woodson was an American historian. He was among the first scholars to study the history of the African diaspora, including African American history. He was also a Thomasite. Woodson was born in 1875 in Virginia to former slaves. After graduating and working as a teacher and principal in the U.S., he became a school supervisor in the Philippines between 1903 and 1907. He was one of a handful of African-American Thomasites. According to a dissertation written in 1971 titled Carter G. Woodson, a Biography by Patricia Romero, Woodson wrote at least 2 personal letters which alluded to problems he had with Filipinos in the Bureau of Education, which contributed to his departure. Upon his return to the United States, he continued his studies at the University of Chicago and got his PhD from Harvard University. In February 1926, he launched the celebration of Negro History Week, the precursor of Black History Month. In fact, Carter Woodson is called the father of Black History Month. Woodson devoted his life to historical research. He dutifully wrote about the history of African Americans and led the collection of thousands of artifacts and publications. He fought historical revisionism and denialism and called for the accurate depiction of his people's experience, ensuring their true history was never overlooked, ignored, or suppressed. O, diba?